Hey, aloha gang, Dr. Russ Rosen here. Welcome to the OHC community. Today we're going to be talking about how important it is to train our team to do it right and to continually train them and to have a system in place to be able to train our team. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I am going to go right over here. Am I? I'm going to go right over here and say, let me know if you are here. Feel free to ask questions. Okay, and I'm going to do that. And I know we've got, 8-10 second delay, whatever it is. So I'm going to go over and check over on the other one and see if I'm actually showing up or if I'm just goofing off here. Let's find out. And I guess I could be doing both, right? Okay, good. I'm there. So here we go. We want to talk about the system to train team members. And I know we all want to serve as many people as possible, get the best results we can, save lives, make a lot of money in the process. And the reality is, many of us have Superman or Superwoman syndrome where everything has to go through me. I have to do everything, and I don't have a team I can delegate to. And again, I coach a lot of doctors who don't want a team, and that's fine. I can help you do it, automate, blah, blah, blah. But for those of you who do want to have a bigger impact, see more people, obviously, if you have the right team, you can serve more people because the doctor can do what only doctor can do, and someone else is doing something else. So again, you don't want to have team, bless your heart, that's fine. You probably don't need to listen to this one. This is for people who do want to have staff, they do want them well trained, etc. Now, many of us have had horrible, horrific experiences with staff that don't perform well. There are a lot of reasons for it. One is they just don't actually know the job. It could be that they just don't have the right skill sets for that job, typing, communication skills, attitude, personality, etc. It could be that they're just the wrong person for the position. Maybe I'm really great at billing and collections and I'd be horrible dealing at the front desk. You just switch them. But, those are some of the things that can happen. You could oftentimes have the right person, you just never trained them well, or you did train them, but then you don't continually train, and that's what happens really most often. Um, so we talked about in the performance appraisal system last week that we're always looking when we're at training, we're training behaviors as well as tasks. So what are their attitudes, etc., as well as can they do the things that you need them to do. Now, so often we never take the time to actually train them in their position. We oftentimes have a staff member quit and we really don't know how to do it. So we bring someone on and just kind of throw them into the fire, or we actually do know how to do it and we could train them. We just don't feel we have the time to actually train them. Or even worse, you've got a staff member oftentimes not doing a good job, they're leaving. We have them train the next person, and not only do they not know what they're doing, but they have a bad attitude about you and about the office. So it's a little bit of cyanide in the soup, just a little bit, and it just ruins it right from the beginning. So if we want to give the best quality service to our patients, serve the most people, etc., doctor needs to do what doctor can only do. Everything else we'd like somebody else to do, which means we have to learn to effectively delegate. In the coaching world, there's an axiom called automate, delegate, replicate. I'm going to automate as much as I can until I'm doing all that I can do, and then I'm going to delegate to someone else. And then once we're doing all that we can do, I want to replicate myself. I was working with a doc who said, I want to get to 250 a week before I bring on a staff member. And I said, all right, here's how we're going to do that. And he did. We got him to that level. Then he brought on a staff member, and then he grew the practice quite a bit. And then we replicated, brought on an associate. So that's just a basic axiom. Now, I hear it all the time. I was working with a doctor in New Zealand, and I love this gal. She is so fun. Um, we were having a conversation about delegation, and she was just saying, "I can't delegate. My team, they never get it. They don't care. Blah blah blah." And she was kind of on a rant about how miserable she was with her team, and that my, uh, you know, wishes for her to be able to delegate were it's not going to happen. I got an email the next day that she was a serious cyclist. She went over her handlebars and broke both of her wrists. And the email kind of went like this: interesting. It's amazing how much I can delegate, right? Like literally wiping her butt. Couldn't do that, right? So it's amazing how much we can when we have to. And my suggestion is don't have to. Just recognize you can't do it, but you just got to do it right. So the big thing here is we're not just going to delegate. We're going to train and keep training. We'll be talking about that. I'm going to go into detail of exactly how to do that at the end. But we got to train and continue to train. Um, One of the things that we recommend that we do is once we've trained them, and again, I'll dive in more detail, but then we're having like regular basic training meetings. So once a week, we could meet for 20 minutes as a team. And once somebody owns the position, they've owned how to answer the phone, they train everyone else. So we get to cross train. They get to own it because they can train it, they can teach it, right? And it's a continual process. Like the story about painting the Golden Gate Bridge. I've been over the Golden Gate Bridge a bunch of times because I live right over here. I've never seen anyone painting it, but they say paint the Golden Gate Bridge 365 days, start over, paint the Golden Gate Bridge. You always paint the bridge. Great story, probably not true. Okay, so I want you to think about this. If you were a professional athlete, would you practice? Yes. If you're a musician or doing dance or art, would you practice? Yes, you would. And if you did that when you were in, say, grammar school, and then you moved up into high school, middle school, high school, would you practice more in high school or more in grammar school for your sport or your music? Yeah, more in high school. And then if you made it to college, would you practice more in high school? No, the farther you go, the better you get, the more you have to practice to keep those skills clean, right? So you're a professional doctor, you're professional paraprofessionals, right? So we've got to train and continue to train. If we do this, we can grow our practice without crashing. We talked a lot about this last week. That I don't want to have a growth and crash, growth and crash. It just sucks the life out of us. You can grow, and then as long as you can find the next weakest link and fix that, you can grow. And then find the next weakest link and fix that, and you can grow. So we can continue to have growth. That isn't a question. Remember, your present system won't support your future growth. You might say, I have a front desk person, they can handle the phones and do their job at 30 people a day. Great. Can they do that at 300 a day? Probably not. You might need more automation. You might need more people. You might need more space, right? So, these are the kinds of things that we want to be looking at. For us to be able to evolve our systems, we've got to grow and evolve. We talked about a lot of this last week, but at 300 a day, I might have a person checking in and a person checking out. Now, nowadays, there's all kinds of things we can do to automate. A person checks in with a fob and blah, blah, blah. But I'm just suggesting when we automate as much as we can and then we delegate, right, we can then eventually replicate and we can serve more people, better results, more money, all that kind of stuff. So when our team members perform better because they've been well trained and they continue to train, because again, don't kid yourself, anything you train on yourself, anything, a technique, how to answer the phone, how to do a visit one or a visit two, your staff, anything you train on within 90 days, if they didn't retrain on it, there's something getting dusty. There's something not as good as it was. And then the wheels start to wobble, and then our practice crashes, and we can't figure out why. So in my world, we would retrain on everything within 90 days, period. Period. And if you're doing 20 minutes a week, that's all it takes. It's not a big deal if we're just every week choosing something we do and doing that. Okay. Um, okay, so if we do it, we end up with happier staff, happier patients, and our team members stay with us. We know how much it costs us when they leave, and of course, if we don't, we continually have problems. Team is unhappy, patients are unhappy, and we can't grow. So this is all about training. It's about training and continually training. Um, if you read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, and I mentioned that in the last several classes, um, he talks about how crucial it is to have the brilliant systems. 85% of businesses in America, mom and pop businesses in America, go bankrupt or go under in the first 5 years. 95% of franchises are still in business. I'm sorry, 85% of small businesses go under in the first year. 95% of franchises are still in business. Uh, I think that's the number. I forget now. I apologize. 5 years down the road. So it's all about systems. When you can take a brilliant system and apply it to an average human being, then you can go to scale. You can grow. If you think about McDonald's, they have brilliant systems. You've got 16-year-old children who don't care about your business, who are checking their phones, but they know they put the fries down, they hit the button when it beeps, they pull them out, they take this, do 3 shakes, right? It's the system that is brilliant. If you need a 5-star Michelin chef at every single McDonald's, you could never go to scale, right? So this is all about the systems, okay? My goal for you is to create a perfect system. It takes about a year, but really all you're doing is kind of nailing the first quarter, doing that again, and within a year you've got a perfect system. Okay, so not only are we, give me one sec, what did I say there? Right, well, I'm gonna get back into that. Okay, so obviously we need to do the whole dream team. The whole dream team we've talked about in the last several weeks. We need to hire right. We need to have the bonus system in place. We have to have the staff meetings. We have to have the performance appraisals, and we have to know how to train. Today we're talking about training. Okay, so I'm going to go into much more detail about this particular piece in the club on Thursday. If you want to jump into that, let me know. You can jump into it. It's Thursday, 11 o'clock California time, or I record it so you can check it out. But we go into way more detail on this stuff that I'm going to go through right now. So step one, we got to clarify our vision. We talked about this when we went through get the team to grow the practice, and we went through the business frame. So we clarify our vision. We went into great detail about that. We enroll others in our vision, really critical piece of the puzzle to enroll others in our vision. We got the right people with the right attitudes. We create the system that will create and support the vision. So we're going to have a system that's going to support and create that vision. And then we need to manage by objectives. We don't manage by abdication, right? We don't micromanage. Abdication is you have a goal and I'll see you in 90 days. Micromanage, you all know micromanaging, but we've talked about managing by objectives and how to set goals and objectives. And if you want the goals program, just put goals and I'll send that to you. Okay, so my dog is barking. Okay, we're gonna dive into the team training checklist in great detail in the club. We're gonna go through some of it right now. So I just want you to think of like, with a fighter, or a pilot. Are you always training? Yes. With a pilot, they're checking their list every single time they take off, every single time. So we've got to have this kind of a system in place. All right. Remember, there are certain stats you can monitor to make sure that people are doing their job right. For associates, it might be their retention, their visit 1 and 2 sign-up rate, etc. For the team members, just look at things they do. It could be asking for referrals, sign-ups, missed appointment rates, etc. So these are all things that we can monitor. I want you to think about if you had Jeff Bezos. He's got over 1.5 million employees. If his employees did not show up one day, how much work could he get done? How well would Amazon do? Not at all. So again, we're really dependent on our staff. We're more dependent on them than we recognize until we start having problems, right? But if you really want to grow, we got to train them and keep them trained. So in context, we got to hire the right people. Mission, vision, purpose. Make sure we got the right people. We got to make sure that they're motivated by the bonus system. If you didn't go through that, go to the guides section and go back through the bonus system. We set goals regularly. We have a performance appraisal system that we're doing so we can always check what's the next thing we need to fix. Remember, all you got to do is fix your next weakest link. If everybody is fixing their next weakest link, you'll grow. So remember this concept. If everybody's doing everything right, what happens? The practice grows. If the practice is not growing, what does that tell us? Everybody's not doing everything right. So if everybody's doing everything right, I promise you, guaranteed 100%, the practice will grow. If the practice grows, our present system will not support our future growth, right? It just won't do it. So at 30 a day, I can handle this. At 300 a day, I can't. Somewhere between 30 and 300, the wheels started to wobble. And that's how the performance appraisal system tells me the next thing I need to train on once they're trained. Now, when I'm doing training in the club, I'll be giving you a template on this. We need to know the date that we trade them on how to do something. We'll say answer the phone. And you're going to have like a list of all the things they do, right? All things they do. So you train how to answer the phone. You're going to train why we answer the phone the way we do. If they don't understand the why behind the how, they're not going to do it. So when we answer the phone, we stand on our left foot and we face the east. And here's why. If you don't help them understand why they're not going to do it, we smile when we answer the phone. Why do we smile when we answer the phone? Because the people can feel the warm fuzzies on the other end, right? So we go, this is the date we trained how and why we do what we do. This is the date I can check off. They can kind of do it on their own. They don't have it wired yet. We checked them again a few days. Not wired, but almost. This is the day we can check off and say, you got it wired. You own this. You're the owner of this. So then when we're retraining on this, am I training them or are they training me? They're training me because they own the position. You remember Mrs. Gillette from geometry when I was in junior high school. She said, if you can't come up in front of the class and teach it, you don't own it. And she was right. So once they own it, they now are going to be training. So we start off with, is there a video and a manual? If so, they're going to review it. And if not, we make a note to ourselves because we're going to end up with a video and a manual. Okay? Then the day they show how to do it, why to do it, they can kind of do it on their own. They can absolutely do it. They own it. Now they're going to add to the manual and video. Right? So if we learn new things, they're going to add to that. If not, they're going to make one. So I like to just type up a manual, and then you can just have a video of me going through the manual, teaching someone, and hyperlink it right into the Word document. So now when I bring someone new on, I can just hand that to them and just say, go through this, come prepared. Okay? Then the most important piece of this is, when will we train on this again? When will we train on this again? Many of us do some of these pieces, but I haven't met anyone who says, okay, we're going to train on this again in 2 weeks. Oh, that went well. We'll check it again in a month. Oh, that went well. But nothing goes longer than 90 days. If it goes longer than 90 days, I promise you, things will start to get dusty. The wheels will start to wobble. And eventually, you're going to have that happen. All right. So I hope you found that valuable. If you are here, I'll get to check right now. Evangeline, hi there, aloha, thank you for being here. Josephine McKenna, aloha, welcome aboard. Okay, we'll go in just a minute here. If you have any questions, let me know. This is one you might need to go through a couple of times, excuse me, because there was a lot of information. But I promise you, if you look at this dream team and you do the things that we've been over in the last several calls, and again, you can go to the guides section and just review those, you can build a dream team. Okay, so hope you found value. As always, much love and aloha. Bye, gang.